What's up, guys? Phoenix here. Sorry for the break, sorry for the long hiatus, but hopefully I'm back doing videos because there's actually things to talk about now. The reasons that I was gone is because there was just nothing for me to talk about. There's nothing to do. The format was stale, the game was stale, I didn't really like the game, and now the game has kind of gotten to a point where I'm starting to enjoy it again, mainly with the new ban list and things. I know the ban list killed Dragonities, but I mean, I kind of needed an excuse to move on from that deck anyway. It will always be one of my favorite decks in existence. But I mean, I needed to just start. It was getting too repetitive playing the same thing over and over again, and I needed an excuse to break away and do that. And so this is definitely, I'm taking this chance. It definitely didn't hit me like hard that Ravine was banned. I was testing for a month under the assumption it was going to be banned before the ban list was even announced. It's just one of those things that I'm just taking it in strides. But the reason I'm coming to you guys today to start, actually wanting to make videos again is because of this wonderful card on the screen. That card effect just got confirmed this morning, or at least translated and sort of confirmed this morning. But I'm assuming it's 100% confirmed, considering the wording has very little deviation in it from, what it could possibly be, considering there's no real error or anything that I can tell. And it's in proper, card text form. But anyway, it's Pirika, Lineage of Gusto, as you can see. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one Wind Tuner monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in face-up defense position. Its effects are negated, and if you activate this effect, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except wind monsters. You can only use the effect of Pirika, Lineage of Gusto once per turn. Now, this card is amazing in the aspect of what it does for the Gusto deck. This allows us to have one card freezes that are free now, because you can normal summon this, or you can special summon it off of one of your recruiters like Eagle, because Eagle just happens to summon this. And then once you've done that, you can bring back a Guldo in the grave and just have an instant one card's freeze. And this freeze itself, once it's summoned, is going to replace itself with a Gusto card from your graveyard, which is the main reason why I see that they put you can only use the effect of this card once per turn, because if it was something that you just toolboxed out off Eagle, you'd be able to get a Guldo back, go into next turn, synchro into his freeze, and then add this back to hand, summon it, and make another one. That'd be a little bit too much of a tempo shift for a deck that, kind of Gusto's just kind of walls up behind things. But this allowing the deck instant and easy access into this freeze, and the fact that you can manipulate it, because of the fact that it can gain its effect whether normal or special summoned, is really, really good. It allows the deck to run a Kamui engine along with a Pirika engine and just have pinpoint access to almost anything out of your extra deck. Now the restriction on, you can't special summon anything except winds, not that, restricting. You can still hit things like Stardust, you can still make any of the Gusto synchros, you can still make things like Lightning Chidori if you're doing things like that and have an extra, like a cam left over. You can still do a lot of things only summoning wind monsters in the Gusto deck. You can still freeze OTK, which is what this card mainly helps facilitate, but that's neither here nor there. I don't want to sound like I was bragging, but when this card's effect, or when this card's name was first announced, and it was the text was blurred out, or it had that big symbols over it, and they didn't have any form of card text whatsoever on it, I was talking with some of my friends. I was talking with a couple people on DN who asked me how I felt, about Gustos maybe going into the next format. And before this card's effect was confirmed this morning, I told them, like, look, the way the Gusto deck operates is the way the archetype operates in general. I can pretty much figure out what this card is going to be in terms of type and all that, because we didn't even have that information yet. It was obviously going to be a psychic, and because of the artwork, and because it's a psychic, it's not going to be a tuner. And it being level 3 would give it a major ability to possibly do something good for the deck. And what I told them was that its effect typically is going to have to be something along the lines of bringing back Guldo from the grave, bringing back like a level 3 Gusto from the grave, or bringing back a tuner from the grave, something along those lines, to allow the deck to either have a quick Xyz engine or have a quick way into freeze, because that's the one thing that we have never had. Through Kamui, Hope of Gusto, we've had pinpoint access into Falco and Guldos out of the extra deck, and you can manipulate it to get up into Eagles. But up until this point, we've been, kind of mitigating the ability to not make easy one card, one place freezes by using, things like Junk Synchron and all that, because we didn't have a card like this. We were using Junk Synchron in place of a card that is about to be printed that is essentially Junk Synchron, but infinitely better for the deck. Now, the lack of freeze, plays that you could do at the drop of a hat, every freeze play that you could make in Gustos, no matter what the variant, was always a 2-turn process, or a 2-play process if you had the setup from the previous turn. There was never just a one definite freeze answer. And for the time being, that was kind of balanced back in the slower format, like the beginning of the wind-up format and all that, where the game was slow enough for Gustos to just toolbox their way into the shadows. But at that point, it was kind of balanced because you were using 2 different resources to make that freeze over the course of 2 turns, but it's paying you back by possibly allowing you to OTK and also replacing a card in your graveyard to your hand. And so that essentially meant that you only used 1 resource. Now those freezes are basically free, and you can manipulate it out at any given time. If you open setting a Goldo, you have a freeze next turn if that Goldo gets killed. It's pretty good. Ultimately, I'm a big fan of how Konami handled this card, and we're going to be getting Primal Origin right before Nationals. So if the format is still slow, this is the potential for me to actually play something. I might actually be playing Gustos at Nats. The deck is just really solid, and it's something that all of the cards that hurt it are at 1. It's the same reason why Mermails and Fire Kings and things like that are expected to do well. All the cards that hurt this deck are literally at 1. All the relevant cards that hurt it, anyway. But anyway, I'm going to be talking more about different things over the course of different videos over different days. People have been asking me what I thought about the ban list, how I feel about Ravine being banned. I'll answer those questions in different videos. I'm going to maybe start filming my DN testing under the next format. Getting things like that out. I've already got these Pirika's proxied printed out and ready to go, and I'm doing some play testing with Gustos IRL because I want to get an ideal build down. I'm just really happy that this card is now a thing, because Konami had to do a very specific effect for this card to be good in the deck and for to make the deck a little bit more playable. And they hit it exactly on the head. They hit the nail right on the head from what I was telling people it needed to do. And it just makes me so happy that they could actually have enough foresight and common sense to give the deck what it actually needed and things along that nature. But anyway, hopefully this will be the start of a new string of videos. And I'll be just doing things randomly while I get through the Christmas season at work. But as always, guys, comment, rate, subscribe, and take care.